Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. The ETF industry just reached its 30th anniversary since the first ETF was listed. Joining me to discuss is Bryan, head of institutional services at Old Mission. Bryan, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Jill, thanks for having me on, and I appreciate you and Nasdaq hosting us. Yeah, you're right, 30 years. ETFs now are 30 years old. They were launched in Canada, but most people know the ETFs as SPY, which was launched in sort of 1993. And it's been a really exciting evolution of a product. As most people know, ETFs are a wrapper or a basket of securities. Traditionally, people think of ETFs as a basket of equities and sort of sector-based ETFs. Those products have evolved, right? So the product now includes fixed income products, especially post-March. They became very popular and very active in the marketplace. And even more recently, we've seen alternative products being wrapped up into an ETF. Some buffer ETFs just came to the market just recently. And really, we live and we work in a really strong ecosystem for product development. And I think it's a credit to both the issuers, the exchanges, somebody like Nasdaq who supports these products and products developments, and also the market makers. As a whole, we now have over 2,000 ETFs listed in the marketplace. And I think the biggest feather in the cap to the ETF ecosystem and the products as a whole is in March, we saw the Fed come in and start buying ETFs.
Yeah, that really was quite an interesting purchase there for sure. But Bryan, how did ETFs fare during the recent market volatility as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Sure, you mentioned ETFs have been around for 30 years, and the product as a whole has seen a lot of the evolution of this marketplace and multiple volatility events. Each one of these events, ETFs were looked at under a microscope, and that required the street to kind of gain a lot more focus and provide a lot more education on these products. But as it relates to March, there was an opportunity for ETFs, especially fixed income ETFs. There was a lot of stress in the fixed income markets, and the marketplace looked to the fixed income products that are in the ETFs, so the fixed income ETFs, for liquidity. We even saw price discovery in those fixed income products. So as a market maker, we spent a lot of time in March, working with investors and issuers to help them manage risk and ultimate liquidity during these times of volatility. I mean, you saw ETF volume as a market share almost 40% of the market in March. So that's an all-time high, and it's a credit to the value that ETFs are providing the marketplace.
Tell us a little bit about Old Mission.
Sure. Old Mission has been around for 10 years. We're a global trading firm with offices in Chicago, London, and New York. We've built a lot of strong partnerships over the years with issuers and exchanges, and we continue to evolve, right? So this marketplace, as we know, is evolving when it comes to finding liquidity. That liquidity can live on exchanges. Liquidity can be in dark pools. It can also be available through these sort of bilateral or direct relationships that are out there now and being developed with institutional customers. My career has started in the exchange space. So I came from Nasdaq. Took some time there through my 25 years, and has seen this marketplace evolve. And so Old Mission has seen an opportunity to kind of launch a new institutional services desk. So I'm leading that up through a new broker-dealer that we have called Old Mission Markets. And so this has been really well received as we're out there building these sort of bilateral relationships with institutional customers.
Bryan, you mentioned Old Mission is an ETF market maker. Tell us what the role of an ETF market maker, what do you do as a market maker?
Sure, a market maker is part of the ecosystem, right? So especially in the ETF space, I look at the ETF market maker as part of this kind of three-legged stool, right? So you have the issuer who's creating products and doing distribution. You have the exchanges who are approving products and trading them. And then you have market makers who are out there managing risk, providing liquidity, and providing the liquidity that's needed to trade these products. We have to work with the issuers and the exchanges to help educate people on these products. So we work every day to ensure that we're supporting the ecosystem, and that support comes around from liquidity with the issuers through the create redeem process, and ultimately making sure that people understand these products and have access to liquidity when they're trading.
All right, Bryan, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You got it. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.